Hello, welcome to Die Rolling. You are joining the ever excitable Adam here, and if I'm honest, I'm not that excited today because I shouldn't be here. This is ridiculous. I picked up a game of Zombicide Undead or Alive, rolled the dice, and here I am. So I'm hopeful that I can get my way back. But like my other Zombicide gameplays, I'm going to basically try to beat this game. I'm going to kick its measly ass. I'm not really, I'm going to have difficulties with the game because Zombicide Undead or Alive, or Undead or Alice, as my autocorrect likes to call it, is a tough game. This is the hardest Zombicide I have ever played, and I've played at least 4 or 5 of these so far. Zombicide Invader, fairly straightforward, fun stuff. Some cool new kind of moves and stuff in there you can do. Some nice mechanics. Zombicide Black Plague, one of my favorite. Green Horde's great, and Night of the Living Dead. Apart from those 2 travel levels, really fun. So you know, Undead or Alive is a no-brainer for me. It's definitely gonna be something I'm going to enjoy. But the problem is, I can't actually leave here until I've managed to beat the game. I think. I mean, I don't actually know the rules of why I'm here or what, but here we are. Anyway, stay tuned. Let's see if I can do the first mission. The bandwagon. The trains are coming and ain't gonna stop. This here's our chance to skedaddle out of this zombie-ridden outpost. Ain't gonna leave empty-handed though. Place is chock full of bounty weapons that'll soon be ours. Objectives: prove your worth and get in the train. Accomplish the objectives in this order to win the game. So first of all, get 1 bounty weapon per survivor. Some may be found in town, but you'll need to accomplish some feats to complete the count. Exit with all survivors on the train. There must be no zombies on board. Be careful, the train may enter the board before you get all required bounty weapons. Special rules: place the blue objective in the indicated zone, which we have done. The train is coming. The blue objective can't be taken. During each end phase, move it 1 zone forward on the railroad. Once it leaves the board, the train enters through the same location. What a weapon! Each objective gives 5 AP and the top bounty weapon, if there are any left, to the survivor who takes it. The survivor may reorganize their inventory for free. So this is what the board is currently looking like. We've got our 4 objectives over there, which will give us bounty weapons. We've got a spawn over there for the abomination. We have 2 regular mobile spawns over here, and we've got our first spawn over there. So we're going to be starting from there and then spawning as we go around. I've also put spawn tokens on the inactive ones on these corpse pile locations, so I don't forget to place a spawn in there. The train is going to be appearing from here and going down there, and at the end of every round, this is going to be moving down 1 until it goes off the board, and then we're going to be putting the train here, which is great because it actually kills a ton of zombies as soon as it comes in, but we really are pushed for time in this one. We also have our Gatling gun on here, and we have our wagon. So this should be pretty fun. Now, I've played this several times. I have yet to win, so we'll see how we get on. I'm also playing that we have to take it in turns, so Trixie's going to be our first player, then Carl, then Turner, then Henry, then Hannah, then Concepcion. So yeah, it's going to be going around and around like that. That does make this trickier, because if you could just choose which survivors to activate when, this would be a lot easier, but you can't. So I'm going to shuffle up the bounty weapons now, and I'm looking away so I don't know what is on top. And we have get 3 AP or more by killing zombies at range 2 or more in a single turn. So that's our first bounty weapon. I'm also now going to shuffle the zombie spawn deck. Oh. I'm shuffling very poorly. Okay, so that's all shuffled. And then our item deck. Something I hadn't been playing correctly in this game is discarding cards is actually free. So if you ever get any holy water or water cards, you can basically just use them as much as, use them as soon as you get them, which is pretty helpful. I was also unsure whether these guys actually start inside the wagon, but apparently they don't start inside the wagon, so which is pretty helpful. Cool. Okay, so we're going to begin momentarily. Okay, I've just added all the pegs in, so we can begin. And we're starting with Trixie. Now, Trixie is a townsperson, which means she's got, she can have line of sight within buildings, and she's also got a pretty helpful thing of being able to search twice in a building. But her main use is her jump ability, which is just specific for her. So we're going to start off with her, and she's going to use her jump ability to begin with, which means she can move 2 zones. So straight away she's jumping across. That's 1 action. Her second action is going to be moving to there, and her third action is going to be moving to this area. Okay, so next we have Carl. So Carl, now this guy, he's got +1 damage with melee, which means we need to get him a decent weapon. Problem we've got, as soon as we go inside a building, we're going to start spawning stuff, and we don't like spawning things, but we've got to start it somehow. So we're going to move into there. This means this is now an active spawn zone. And we're going to do a search. First search of the day, we find some water, and we can discard that straight away as a free action to gain 3 AP. I keep wanting to say experience points, so if I do say that, apologies. So it's 1 action to move in there, second action to do that. Now I could grab this bounty weapon, but I'm going to hold off because I don't want. Some of these bounty weapons are harder to get than others, so I'm going to leave Carl there. That's going to be the end of his go. It's now on to Turner. So Turner, he has got his pistol, and there's a good chance he might be able to kill at least 3 people. He needs a decent pistol to do this, though. This bounty weapons come at the wrong time. I think we are going to just have to just go in and use stuff. So we're going to go moving there. We're going to search and hopefully get a decent weapon. No, we found some water. So we give him 3 experience points for discarding his water. And we'll also leave him just in there. Okay, so next is Henry. Henry is going to spend all of his actions dragging the wagon this away. And next we come to Hannah. So Hannah's a townsperson. We're going to move into here for 1 action. She gets to do 2 searches, hopefully not a load of water. So first one is a Schofield. So this is a pretty good pistol. It doesn't say no to no fanning, and does 2 damage each. So it's 1 action to move in there, second action to pick this up. Her third action, she's actually going to give this over to Turner. He's got a much better chance of fanning with that one. And finally we have Concepcion. So Concepcion, we may as well get her to do some searching as well. So she's going to move into there for 1 action. She's then going to do a search, and she finds a knife. So this adds 1 die to another equipped melee weapon. She doesn't have a melee weapon. So her last action is to do a trade, and she's going to give this knife to Carl. And that's the end of our first go. So we now move on to the zombie spawning, and we start all the way over there in the background, just up here. So the first thing we spawn is we have no one. Perfect, but everyone gets an extra activation, which is no good to anybody. Next, down the south here, we are spawning an abomination. Great, straight out the bat, we have an abomination. As soon as the abomination appears on the board, we activate this spawn zone. We get rid of him, we'll be able to get rid of that spawn zone. So our abomination is in play. Right, next we have these 2 spawn points starting from here. So we find abomination. So the abomination activates again. So he's going to just move forward 1 space. That's my abomination noise, you're welcome. And then finally in the orange at the top we have 4 brutes. I say finally, but it's not finally at all. Because we have the abomination spawn as well to do. So I'm going to do all the same type of brutes this time. So these guys are all kind of like, I don't know, from a chain gang or something. And then finally, our abomination spawn up the top there. What is Trixie going to have to deal with? So we have 4 runners. Okay, and it's the end of the round. So we move this. We also move the noise token to the noisiest place in town, which is going to be here. Right, the first player token moves over to Carl. And Carl is going to... We're going to search for his first action. And he finds a Remington. Which is, you know, it's helpful, but not really that helpful for him. We're then going to move him here. And then into this area here. It's now Turner's turn. So Turner is, we're going to risk this. We're going to go 1, 2, and now Turner is going to try to fan with the Schofield. So he's rolling 6 dice. He needs 5 or more. Each one of these does 2 damage. And if he managed to get at least 3 of these, we've managed to... oh no, let's rewind, guys. I don't have a range with a pistol to do this. Range 2 or more. Man, the pistol's got to be pretty good. Carl's Remington could have done that. Oh, I kind of wish I'd traded before I left. Never mind. So, do you know what? We're gonna get him to come up here anyway. So he's gonna come up there. He can't actually shoot anybody, but we're gonna leave his go there. Next, it's Henry. So Henry is just kind of chilling out over here. We're gonna go 1, 2, and then Henry's doing a search in there. Henry finds some dynamite. This is fantastic. We can use that against the Abomination. Next is Hannah's go. Hannah in orange over here. She's going to do a search. She finds a tomahawk. Second search gets us holy water, which she's going to discard straight away to get rid of this spawn point. Now, you are supposed to flick them to the other side so they're inactive, but it doesn't make any sense in this because we don't actually need... they're never going to be coming back, basically. They never reactivate. So for this level, I'm just going to do that. So she's done 2 searches, and at this point, do you know what? I'm tempted to take that, but we're not going to. She is going to... Do you know what? She's going to stay where she is as well. Maybe we'll just move her into this zone here. She's moved into there. Right, next is Concepcion. She's going to go 1, 2, and then she's going to use her Vade Retro. So doing Vade Retro means that this guy is not going to activate on his next activation. If we get any more Abomination spawns, though, he will move, but for the moment, he's not going anywhere. Right, it's up to Trixie, and Trixie is in a tricky situation here. So, do you know what? We're just going to grab this. 5 experience points for our Lady Trixie. We've got our first bounty weapon. So she has got the Colt Buntline. 1 to 3 range, 1 dice, 4 or more, do damage, and it's 1 bang every time, 1 damage. So she's got 2 actions left. So we're going to move her here for her next action. And then, do you know what? We're going to jump her. She actually has line of sight this area here, so she can actually jump. Well, do you know what? I'm not sure. Maybe she should be there. I want to play this fairly, so I'm just going to jump up onto the balcony. Now, because I'm on the balcony, it doesn't mean we actually start to spawn here, but she's in a position she can spawn. She can get into there and grab that sooner rather than later if we need to do it. Right, that's the end of the round. So our Abomination does not activate. Our Brutes do, though. As do our Runners. So all our Runners activate. Okay, now we're doing spawning, starting from our yellow zone here. And we get 4 Brutes because we don't actually have anyone in yellow level yet. And because they're coming from over that way, we're going to use the other kind of zombies here. So these guys are a much more complicated like model. They were very tricky to paint. But yeah, here they are. So we've got 4 of these guys. Brutes can only be killed with weapons that do 2 damage. So at the moment we have the Schofield from Turner, And we also have Carl's melee weapon will do it as well, because he gets a +1 damage to his melee attacks. Second spawn, we're hoping for no abomination spawns here. We have another 4 brutes. So the brutes are really in force at the moment. If we ever have to place monsters, zombies even, and we don't have enough zombies, then basically you have to activate the abomination. Our final spawn, because we've got rid of the one in this first building, the watering hole I'm going to call it, because we just got a ton of water in there. And extra activation, no one, because we're in the blue zone. So I believe there are only 2 of those extra activation things in the entire deck. And you know, that was handy. The abomination didn't move. It's the end of the round. So our train is getting a bit closer. And we've got to move our bang token to the noisiest zone, which is going to be here. And Turner is going to be our first character this time. So Turner, who's up there on the balcony there, he's going to do some shooting. And we're going to do some fanning. It's the first time we've done this. So we're going to turn this bang to a boom. He's in range of those brutes, so let's see if we can do it. He's rolled 6 dice, he's 5 or more. And he got 3 of them with that. If I want to, I can actually re-roll this if I want to, but I'm not going to. That's a pretty good result. So 3 of those guys gone. He's 1 experience point off of leveling up. So we're going to move him in here and he's going to do a search. And he found some holy water, which is great for getting rid of spawn points. Next, it's Henry. Henry's got some dynamite. We're going to get him to search first. And he finds a machete. That is fantastic. He is then going to go 2, 3 into this zone with Carl. Next, we have Hannah. Hannah is currently in next to Turner. Hannah is going to search. She finds a twin barrel rifle there, which is pretty cool. And she's going to search one more time. She finds a sword off. And then we're going to move her over here. Next is Concepcion. So Concepcion is going to use her Vade Retro on the Abomination again. That's the first action. Second action, she's moving over here, and then she is going to draw, and she finds a Cult SAA. What? Right, next we have Trixie. So Trixie is going to try to... We're just gonna have to grab some weapons here, aren't we, guys? I think. She could stay there and try and shoot these walkers, but we are on a time limit. This is the thing, we are on a time limit. So she's going to jump into here because she does have line of sight in here. So she jumps down, we activate this. She's then gonna pick this up, which gets her 5 experience points, which means we're now into yellow. Yes, yellow. We're now into yellow, which means whenever we draw from the spawning deck, we're going to be spawning yellow. She has managed to get herself the Henry Repeater, which is going to help her take out some of these brutes. So we're going to put that there. Next one is the Volcanic Pistol. Gain 3 AP or more in a single action with a pistol or dual pistols. Okay, she's got 2 actions left. Well, 3 actions, actually. So we're going to search first. She finds a Colt SAA. No real good there. It's going to come of that. Do you know what? We're going to search one more time. And we find a pickaxe, which is fantastic. We're going to sort out her inventory. Putting her Springfield into her backpack. Her Henry Repeater into her main equipped weapon, and a pickaxe is also there. Pickaxe is great because it can do a ton of damage to brutes and stuff. And she's going to stay in here. She's not going to do anything else. That's the end of her go. Well, it would have been because she jumped, picked up an objective, and search twice, so that would have been her go. So perfect. Carl is next, and Carl is currently over here. I'm really tempted to get in there and start taking out some of these runners. So let's do we do that? Okay, what we're gonna do, so he's gonna trade the machete. He's gonna grab this machete off of Henry. And you know what? He's also going to grab the dynamite off of him. We got a whole thing here. So that was our first action. Our second action, he's going to do a charge, which is something only brawlers can do. So he basically moves 2 zones into this area with our man here, and he's going to try to kill him. So we're rolling 1 dice for the machete. Because he's got a knife in his other hand, he gets to add +1 die to another equipped melee weapon. So we've got 2 dice, need 3 or more. This is going to do 3 damage each because we get an additional damage with melee. 2 hits, Abomination is gone. We get 5 adrenaline points for doing that, which means Carl is into the yellow zone also, which means he's now got an additional 2 actions left. This spawn point right at the back there is flipped over to its inactive side because there's no Abomination left on the board. This Evade Retro is kind of worthless now, but hey, that's fine. We don't mind about that. Tempted to attack, but you know what? We're going to just back away 2. So we backed away 2, and that's the end of our go. Zombies activate, so we have these brutes moving over here. Our brute just over there, he's going to move 1 space, and I believe this is still the noisiest zone around, so they're going to go towards that. Oh man, I totally forgot that these guys get that's just 1 zone in itself, which means these guys are now in the same area as Henry and Carl. I did not plan that very well because Carl is going to be the last person to go. Henry's first, but he's not got any decent weapons, which is a shame. And finally, we have our brutes. Well, that guy's going to face that way. So our brutes activate there. Okay, let's do our spawning. So starting from over here, we're going to be spawning. All runners get an extra activation, which sucks because we've now done 8 damage, which means it's game over, guys. These guys all attack, applying 4 damage to these. So if we split those in 2, so 2 damage to Carl, 2 damage to Henry, and they get an extra they activate twice, so they're going to attack again, and that does enough damage to kill both Carl and Henry. I thought I was doing a really good job then. Ugh, never mind. I could not do the first mission. I failed miserably. Extra activations. Who knew? Well, I guess I'm going to have to stick around and try that again. So join me again as I will attempt to do Mission 1, the bandwagon of Zombicide Undead or Alive. I've been the ever-excitable Adam. If you enjoy this content, and please like and subscribe to our various different social medias. You've got your Instagram, you've got your YouTube, you've got your Facebook, you've got your Twitter, you've got your TikTok, all of the things. Wherever you can find us, please join us. And until next time, guys, stay safe or die rolling. Now, there's got to be some alcohol around here somewhere.